Hello everybody and welcome to the Barnet Football Club post-match podcast with myself, Rory Edwards, and alongside me is the B-Brief's Sam Fresco. We're just going to have a little chat, dissect the game and just give our immediate instant reaction to what we've just seen, which is a remarkable victory really, another home victory, 2 goals for Liam Love, 1 for new boy Dom Telford. Why don't we start at the beginning, Sam? Dom Telford. How did he get on his league debut? It's the first we've really seen of him, and how was his goal?
Yeah, I thought he was superb, to be fair. I mean, obviously they gave him 60 odd minutes, but in those 60 odd minutes he made a big impact, I believe. His hold-up play as well was a lot better than I thought it would be. From watching highlights of him and seeing stuff from him, he looked like a box player. I mean, his finish speaks for itself. I mean, when everyone gets the chance to see the goal, it's a brilliant finish into the top left-hand corner. And he was just superb all game. It was a big decision to then take him off, obviously, but the 60 minutes that he played, that to me is a big sign of what we have to come, and it's important he gets firing, because we said there's a long way to go, and it is a long way to go with 10 games, but also not a long way to go at the same time. So he's got to hit the ground running, and he's done that superbly today.
Yeah, talk us through the finish. I mean, it was an excellent finish, wasn't it? But it all came from the work of Callum Stead, really.
Callum Stead was superb today, to be fair. He worked his absolute socks off, and he was brilliant. And the goal comes from Steady winning the ball back, chasing a lost cause, really. It wasn't really going anywhere, but he just worked really hard to get it. And then Telford just needs a yard of space, just inside the box as well. And he's found a yard of space onto his strong left foot, and he's absolutely buried it into the top left-hand corner. And it's a brilliant way to get off the mark for us anyway. Yeah,
I mean, Callum Stead is such an asset, isn't he? I mean, he just he was a game changer, wasn't he?
He really is. I mean, there are probably players in the squad who are more talented in terms of Chapmans and Browns and Brunts, and technically they are probably superior to Steady, but there's a reason why Steady plays 90 minutes every week, because he will chase everything, he won't give anything up, he'll keep going to the end. I mean, in terms of his quality, he'll probably be disappointed he didn't score today. There was definitely a few opportunities he'll be disappointed with, but in terms of his work rate, that's why he plays almost every minute of every game, because of that, and he complements the other players really well. Like I said, the likes of Chapmans and Browns and Brunts, they all play a massive role, and Steady today was superb in his running, and even with his assist at the end there was brilliant as well.
It was a fantastic piece of counter-attacking. We will get on to that. But as you say, I mean, Callum Stead, like you say, he could have definitely had a hat-trick, couldn't he? But if you're not going to score, at least set them up.
Yeah, exactly. And he just, like I said, he works so hard for the team. I think maybe that side of his game might go a bit unnoticed. People will look, as a striker, and rightly so, will look at the numbers. And he's got, to be fair to him, he started the season off really well in terms of his numbers, played up top for a long period at the start of the season. But this role, just in behind the striker, I think works really well for him. He can do the hard yards and pick up positions where it's a bit more difficult to track. And yeah, I thought he was brilliant today.
Well, absolutely, and obviously, so Barnet took the lead, and they looked very good value for it, didn't they?
Yeah,
Solihull Moors didn't have a sniff, did they?
No.
In truth,
the first half they had a couple of, they ran off Hartigan once or twice, but in terms of shots in the first half for Evans to make and to save, I don't think he actually made a save all game, but particularly in the first half, they didn't look troubling. To be fair to them, in the second half, the first 10-15 minutes, obviously they scored after about 20 seconds into the second half. I mean, yeah. It was a brilliant goal, and they started off really well. They came out with a lot more fire in them, and they played it a lot quicker. Brunty, I think, was a bit poor for the goal from memory as well, but the goal was brilliant. Nothing Evans could really do about it.
Yeah, it is Owen Evans' first goal that he's conceded in a Barnet shirt. It's taken 7 games for him to do that. First league goal, I stress, because he obviously did concede 3 at Altrincham, and that was obviously a very strange performance. He almost was playing up front there.
Yeah, he was.
He was so far out of his goal. But he has conceded, and I almost felt, I said to you just as we finished, I do feel a little bit sorry for Owen Evans, because he had nothing else to do, really. Or what he did do was sweep really well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was commanding in his box, and he didn't make any real errors. It was just a bit of I would probably call it a worldie. It was a fantastic finish from Fletcher Holman, wasn't it?
100%. I mean, I don't think there's just not much Evans done. Just touching on Evans, I mean, like we said, we've talked about the goalkeeper situation before. Obviously, Walker was on the bench today, and we've had his issues with him in the past and what's gone on with him. And obviously, Hazy this season, he's moved on to Southend now, but Evans' command of his area, his starting position, I think, is the most important thing. He starts so high up, and his ability on the ball, it's like an extra centre back, and it creates overloads in build up, and it's a big thing for us to improve on what we had at the start of the season. And yeah, a bit unfortunate for him today to concede, but if you're going to concede, I guess let it be a worldie, because there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, 100%. I think from memory, the game after that, I was shell shocked up in the commentary box. And the players looked a little bit shell-shocked as well, because they had really had it their own way. All of a sudden pegged back by this goal, and it took them a little while to get going again, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was a bit of a, okay, you got to get through these first 10, 15, I mean, we conceded obviously, but once we lost that, it's like, go again, try and regroup, settle yourself back down into the game, don't do anything rash, don't do anything stupid after you've just conceded. And we built ourselves back into the game. We were starting, and then suddenly we made 4 changes, and I think that was a big difference on this game and how it ended up being.
And the 4 changes were Billy Clifford, Leon Love, Reece Brown. Who was the 4th?
Joe Grimwood.
Yeah, so that was we think that's a case of managing minutes.
Yeah.
He didn't really look in any sort of trouble, did he?
Didn't look over to the side. Didn't look like there was big issues.
Yeah.
So it may have been a tactical thing. They may have even seen something. It may have been a tactical thing. It doesn't surprise me if maybe they wanted something slightly different in build up or something along those lines. So that might have been the issue, the thing with Grimwood coming on. But the subs changed the game massively, I think, and it really helped us in what ended up being the outcome of a 3-1 win.
Yeah, just touching on Grimwood just finally there. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think you were saying even on commentary, like the strength and depth in that particular position. With Danny Collins suspended, he's an absolutely huge player. Mm-hmm. But for him to to be suspended, and for Aluo to step in and do an absolutely, an excellent job, and then for him to go off and Joe Grimwood to step in and do an even better job, it's just, we really struggled in that department in seasons gone by, didn't we? And I think Dean Brennan was like, that's never again.
Yeah, and even with Joe Ryan on loan at Chelmsford, he's massively highly rated. I know the club rate him really highly. So there's a lot of strength and depth in that particular area. So yeah, losing Collins is never great, because obviously he's a class player. But I suppose, like I said before, if it's the one position you can afford to lose, it's probably centre back, because we've got so much quality there.
100%. Now the Bees finally did get their noses back in front, and it took until I think it was about the 76th, 77th minute, and it was a bit of a bizarre one, if we're being honest. It was a quick free kick taken by Anthony Hartigan after an offside against Solihull. It was quickly taken to Kenlock. Kenlock just drove through and did exactly what Miles Kenlock does. He's so good at that. Drove forward, played in Reece Brown, who found that little pocket of space in the penalty area. He whipped, I think it was his left-footed shot maybe, and the keeper got down, saved it. But he saved it straight into the path of Leon Love, who you were thinking, he can't miss this. But he so nearly contrived to miss it. It hit the underside of the crossbar, and at that moment, so many thoughts were going through my head. I was thinking, oh my God, have we just missed? First of all, is this the miss of the season? Mm-hmm. Second of all, was this the chance that, could this be the crucial moment in the season?
Yeah.
All these thoughts happening simultaneously, and they were all moot because the linesman thankfully flagged that it had gone over the line. But how close was that to being catastrophic?
Oh, that would have not been good. It was you can't miss those chances. Thankfully, it has gone over. I mean, who knows if it has gone over the line? We'll see. We'll see in the highlights later when they come out. If it hasn't,
I think we should delete the footage and just make sure.
It doesn't. Well, I can see the scoreboard. Footage? I can see the scoreboard over there. Says 3-1. So
it's just like you watch the highlights and there's just like a black screen.
Nothing happened. But
this is redacted.
It was brilliant from us. It's such a key point the management make about getting the ball in play, playing as quickly as possible. It's exactly what we did. We got the ball. I mean, the offside, it was definitely offside, and then Solihull tried to walk it back, and we were just quick. We were quick to restart the game and get the ball back in play as quickly as possible. We're one of the only teams in the league that has the multiple system, and there's a reason why we have it. It's because the management team, it's a big thing for them to get it in play as quickly as possible, and that's what we did with the free kick. We were alive to it. Hartigan set it off. Kenlock, great run, as you said, 30-40 yards driving in. Brown, and then has the shot, and falls to in Love, and he puts it away, and that's 2-1. And you're thinking at that point, as long as we got the second goal, it felt like we would have gone on to win the game, and obviously that's what thankfully we have gone on to do.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, once that goal had gone in, the game was sort of won.
Yeah.
Just based on the pattern of play that happened after that, Solihull just couldn't get back into it, could they? They tried a few long balls forward, but I didn't really see much of a game plan there, other than let's just hit and hope, try and get it into Holman or someone like that, lump it in the box, hope that it will fall to us. They relied on a worldie for their goal, and if they had come away with even a point, it would have been I think it would have been an absolute robbery.
It would have been, and that's the difference, I think. Well, obviously Taylor's new in at Solihull, but what we do is, even when we go a goal behind, we don't change our principles. We stick to the way we want to play. There's a clear game plan of what we're going to do. The personnel might change, maybe tweaked within that system, but the principles remain the same in terms of how we play, and that gets you through. If you believe it, that gets you through it, and you've got to stick with it, and that's what we've done today, and that was the difference. Solihull are in a complete different phase to what we are, but they looked a bit hopeless in that second half, especially when the second goal went in. They looked a bit like, oh, what do we do now? And we stuck to our guns, and yeah, we ended up seeing it across the line.
Yeah, we certainly did, and it took until I think it was the 93rd, 94th. It was one of the last minutes of added time, and I just love that sort of goal, don't you? That sort of, it's 2-1. You're hanging on for that victory, and you get that chance right at the end, and it was an excellent counter-attack. And the thing is with Barnet, obviously, with the style of play, we don't see that many counter-attacking goals because we've got the ball most of the time. We're usually getting counter-attacked on.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was kind of refreshing to see that happen. And I think it was Billy Clifford, wasn't it, who got it started. Again, another able-bodied replacement. Yeah. Shelton had to go off. Hopefully he's going to be okay because he was sitting down on the floor and looked a little bit, But Clifford, again, it sort of cushioned the header for himself, didn't he? Played it across on the overlap to Stead. He just had acres of space to run into and played the perfect ball over to, and Love just sort of lifted it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, it's these second balls are so important. We're the best in the league in terms of winning the second balls. We're the best at it, and it goes to show even in the 94th minute. This is a talk about the principles. In the 94th minute, you're still doing the same things you would do in the first minute. It's so important. The principles remain the same, and Clifford was alive to it. Did really well. Tavares actually did really well initially because there could have been a bit of a mix-up between him and Grimwood, but he took control of it, played down the line. They win the first one, but like I said, we're so quick on the second one. Clifford then brings it forward, plays it to Steady. Instead, he just plays it across to Love, and brilliant way to seal the game for him to come on and get 2 goals. Yeah,
it's Callum Stead with yet another assist to this game. And Leon Love has got his third goal. Well, he scored against Hartlepool. Yeah. Got his first, finally broke his duck against Hartlepool. Yeah. He's got another 2 today. Yeah. So let's hope that's, maybe the first of many.
Yeah, let's hope so.
The first 3 of many. Mm-hmm. So after that, obviously, saw the game out. Barnet 3, Solihull Moors 1. You wanted to touch upon Nick Tavares. You thought that he had a really solid game.
I just think he's been brilliant, especially since going into that middle of the back 3. I thought Addy was being so important for us this season, and was arguably one of our players of the season, or will be one of our players of the seasons. And when we lost him away at Forest Green, I thought that'd be a big loss. But he has gone in there, Tavares, and he's just a quality player. He's played at wing back for us, played in midfield for us, played on the right of the back 3, the left of the back 3. Now he's playing in the middle. And even today,
I thought he's versatile.
He's very versatile. Very versatile. Stick him up top, he might do a job.
Yeah.
But he's just been so good. I mean, he came in with the reputation of having a few injuries, and he's managed, touch wood, to stay fit so far this season. And it's been so important because I think he's levels above National League, and for him to stay fit, he's just been brilliant. And even at the end, he's playing next to Grimwood, inexperienced at this level. We just sees him through it, and he's just been a rock and a Rolls Royce really for us at centre back, and one of my players of the season so far for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, testament to Dean Brennan's recruitment as well. He's brought in Dom Telford, he's brought in Leon Love. They're doing the business. Tavares doing the business at the back. I mean, if this isn't one of the strongest squads in the league, if this doesn't justify why they are top of the league, then I don't know what does.
100%.
We wanted to also touch upon, there were a couple of strange moments in the game, and it could have been a more frustrating game had it not ended in the way it did, thankfully, for the Bees. But the referee seemed to annoy the Barnet players and fans a bit.
Yeah, he did. There was one for the Kanu. Kanu got into the box, and I don't think it was a dive. He's booked in for diving. There's definitely contact. Whether or not it's enough for it to be a penalty, but Kanu had every right to go down for it because he's been tugged. Again, whether you want to say it was a penalty or not, that's a different question. But to book him for diving, I think, was the wrong decision. There was a few decisions in the game where, the referees at this level unfortunately have just not been up to scratch. We saw it with weeks gone by, this baffling decision. There was a goal away at Hartlepool which we should have won the game on, which was ruled out. We've had decisions.
And this is your opinion, by the way, not the opinion of anyone else.
No, this is just
this is strictly your opinion.
This is my opinion, and we've had it go against go for us. I thought there were, when we played away at the Tamworth game, I think it was very similar to the goal that got ruled. Our goal. Not our goal. There was a moment where Evans was fouled and it wasn't given, or something went against us. It was very similar to the one at Hartlepool, which was given. So listen, you get your stroke of luck over the course of the season, but sometimes you need it to go for you. And I thought the referee today he kind of got quite a few of the decisions wrong, I thought. But listen, we've come out on the right side of it, so don't need to talk about referees.
Yeah, no, I think it was just worth touching upon because Dean Brennan was at pains to talk about it last week.
100%.
He said, quote, the standard refereeing is shocking.
Yeah.
That was the word he said, and I don't think today would have done too much to change that viewpoint.
Don't think so
for him or fans. But hopefully, in the end, it didn't really matter. And it's another massive 3 points at the Fortress Hive, and it sets up what is an absolutely huge game against the Minstermen on Tuesday. York against Barnet here at the Hive. I'll be there for that. I'm sure you'll be there in a fan capacity as well.
I will be.
So make sure you join us for that, or come down to the Hive. Everyone should be tuning in and being there for that one, because what a game it could be.
Massive. I mean, listen, York have picked up 3 points today, gone away to Ebbsfleet. You didn't expect. There was a moment where Ebbsfleet actually did score. They were 1-0 up, and it got
in a parallel universe, maybe.
Who knows? But it got disallowed, and obviously York go on to win the game 2-0. So it feels like this game on Tuesday, it's not going to decide anything. I've been pretty consistent with my thoughts on that. Is you've just got to be in and around it. I don't think Tuesday night defines our season. Win, lose or draw. We could win and still not go up, or we could lose and we could still go up. It doesn't define the season, but it's a big moment. These are moments. If you win the game, the momentum it builds and what it does to York, it can have a big impact. So, especially with their results today, I mean, Forest Green obviously gone away to Braintree and lost, and I'm not ruling them out of it either, but when teams around you drop points, you've got to capitalise, and we did that today. But the York game on Tuesday night, like I said, if you don't have a ticket and you're able to come, you got to come down here and support the boys, because they will need everybody there.
Yeah, 50% off for season ticket holders if you bring a friend. So make sure you do that. And of course, Dagenham and Redbridge on the 8th of March, 12:30 kick-off. That's football for a £5 and kids for £1. So definitely take advantage of that. It's a fantastic offer as we try and get the bees over the line here. We're doing our part as well up in the gantry, hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully giving the good vibes and all that. Just having a quick look at the table then. Barnet with 2 games in hand. So York have 2 games in hand over Barnet. They are 4 points ahead, are Barnet. So 67 points for the Bees after 32 games, 63 points for York after 30 games. So, if York were to win and pick up, they'd be the only side this season to pick up a win here. If anyone's going to do it, it could be them.
Yeah.
And it would put them within 1 point of Barnet, also having a game in hand over them. I think the psychological advantage of a win, I think, as you were kind of touching upon, could be absolutely priceless here.
Listen, you can't hide away from it. It's a huge game, but it's the games you want to be involved with. I'm sure the players, this is the game they want to be playing, and this is the management team want to be this game. They're going to prepare and make sure they get it right. And listen, whatever happens, it's been, like I said, it's not going to define our season, but these are big games, and these are the games.
It could do. It could do. I know you don't want to be absolutist or defeatist or anything like that. But I don't also want to put too much pressure on the game as well. I think there's a lot of pressure on York. Some people have said there's no pressure on York.
Yeah.
And I think you probably think this is also ridiculous. There is plenty of pressure on York, 100%. Given the amount of money they've spent and the backing that they've got and the fan base and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you look at some of their fans, I mean, they are York fans. They're scared.
Yeah.
But they're scared because I think they didn't even expect to be in a position like this as well.
Yeah.
And now they are desperate to get over the line as well.
With the money they spent, I mean, their chairman on Twitter is he voices his opinion, let's say, on Twitter. And listen, everyone's got a right. Everyone's got a right to an opinion and stuff. But the pressure is certainly there's pressure on us. We've been at the top of the league for the majority of the season, so you can't hide away from that. But the money they've spent, obviously, they signed some brilliant players. But so have we. We've signed some brilliant players, not for the same amount of money. Our recruitment is slightly different in terms of where we have to recruit our players from, but that doesn't mean the quality is any less. It's just about finding the right players at the right time, and we've definitely done that. But it'll be
like Moneyball in a way, almost.
It is
the Moneyball approach.
It is, but it'll be a brilliant game on Tuesday night. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I certainly can't wait. It's how many sleeps?
You're not.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be sleeping.
It's true. Just thinking about that all week.
Absolutely.
All weekend.
Incredible. And of course, Forest Green dropping points at Braintree Town. I mean, I know I didn't say anything, so this is completely moot. But I felt that Braintree could pick up a result. I didn't say it because I didn't want to put my money where my mouth was.
Of course.
But I was thinking it, and you may or may not believe me, I thought Braintree could do a job on Forest Green.
Well, I've said that Forest Green, they're obviously a good side. They're third in the table, and they're not going to be a rubbish side, but they rely heavily on both boxes, and there's not loads of quality in between that. And I think that let you down over the course of the season, which is why I think York and Barnet are the two best sides, standout sides in the league. I prefer watching, if we weren't to go up, if York were to go up, you can respect it because of in my personal view of how I view football, I like that style of play. Forest Green isn't something that I would want to go and watch personally. But listen, you've got to respect what they do. There's more than one way to win a football game, and they rely on it slightly different ways to what we do. But when when it goes wrong for Forest Green, there's probably less chance of them being able to bring it back because of the way they play. Whereas with a York or with a Barnet, there's a bit more style, a bit more substance to their game. So, yeah, Tuesday night will be a great watch, but big Forest Green dropping points today. So, yeah, can't knock
absolutely. It'd be great if they could fall away, and maybe it just becomes a two-horse race.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them in the playoffs, though. It's one of those games you wouldn't want Forest Green in the playoffs. Over the course of the season, that's where I think they might fall short, but in a one-off game in playoffs, that's where you'd prefer York in the playoffs. If we were to both drop into the playoffs, you'd prefer York because they're probably more likely to give you a chance. In one-off games, Forest Green are a tough team to play against. So, yeah, that's where we've got to go up and win the league.
Well, let's hope the Bees can do it. I mean, we've got York at home on Tuesday, as we've been at pains to mention. Rochdale away, another big one. Oldham just after that. These are big long away trips. They're quite near each other, aren't they, Rochdale and Oldham?
Yeah, I'll probably be at both.
Yeah, Barnet at home to Yeovil, at home to Daggers, of course. I think just looking at the fixture list, York is massive. Yeah. Rochdale and Oldham as well. I mean, York, Rochdale and Oldham is a tough 3 games.
We were looking at the block of 4, including the Solihull game, and it was like when the reverse of it, we drew to Oldham here. We beat Rochdale here. Did we beat Rochdale here?
2-1.
We beat Rochdale here, but we lost away to York.
Somehow, by the way, it was an assault on the goal.
It was.
Rakia hit the post about 5,000 times.
So, like that block of 4 games in the reverse, we lost away to Solihull, we lost away to York, we drew at home to Oldham, and obviously we beat Rochdale. But that was where we kind of dropped our points so far this season in that block of games. So we looked at this again and was like, these are the 4 block of games that we've got to try and pick up a bit more points. I said 9 points would be a good margin from that. If the loss isn't to York, if you lose that one game and it's to York, then slightly different
there are
outlook.
mitigating circumstances.
Yeah, but if you get 9 points or 10 points and go unbeaten in these block of 4 games, and suddenly you really start to believe, and it gets exciting with not many games left after these.
Yeah, I mean, look, we just can't. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So anyway, let's just leave it there then. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us on commentary today. I'm sure we'll see you back. Hopefully, at least one more time this season. No,
it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Oh no, well, no worries. I certainly did. Great result for the Bees. Always helps. Barnet 3, Solihull Moors 1. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Hive Live post-match podcast. Don't forget, you can obviously join us for every home game live on YouTube. We're also simulcast on DAZN as well, but YouTube is the place where you can add your comments and we give you shout-outs and stuff like that. So once again, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you very shortly. Have an absolutely lovely weekend.
Enjoy.